Now on CoastTV News.
Homeward holiday rush.
It's even more crowded and more difficult.
Why travel today is expected to bring some angst on the roads.
Plus, revised trooper tribute. We have the update to the plans for honoring Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, who was killed just before Christmas.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Tracking a few flurries out there as temperatures are in the 20s. Tracking a pleasant, cold, dry day. And we're going to continue that cold pattern into the weekend, but there is a warm up in sight.
From risk to refuge. What are the next steps for this land that is now protected from development in Lewis?
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we are now in our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. It is Friday, January 2nd, 2026.
Got an odd time of the week. You got the New Year's Day holiday yesterday. Today's a Friday, so I don't know if people are going back to work or just taking that extra day. And Grace, how about this?
Oh, no.
School resumes on Monday.
I was thinking about that on my drive-in today as I was passing some of the schools, and I was like, gosh, I remember that time, especially when you're younger, when you're in like elementary school, middle school, where you're so excited, and this whole month of December feels like forever leading up to this huge holiday celebration, and then you go back to school, and it's cold, and it's dark.
I call this is the worst time of the year. These 3 months, we are glass half empty guy.
All right.
Well,
let's work on some positivity for 2026.
Well, part of the reason why I don't like this time of the year, Chris, is that it's cold and dreary. Let's bring in first alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He's in the Weather Center. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt. Yeah, I know you don't like the cold, and unfortunately we're going to have more of it today across the area as we take a live look in through Cambridge. 28 degrees there, dew point 13, so very dry atmosphere. Now, we had a few snow showers overnight past to our north and a few flurries across the area this morning, not amounting to much, not dealing with any snow squalls like we had yesterday across the area as this weak disturbance passes across the mid-Atlantic. Now, temperature-wise, we're at 26 in Long Neck, 28 in Lewis, 26 Georgetown to 25 in Harrington. The good news is the winds are calm, so we're not dealing with those wind chills in the teens. You can see not much of a drop off from the wind chill to the air temperature. Now, we begin with some clouds this morning. Temperatures will rise to 34 by around 1. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. We'll have clear skies into the evening, and we'll likely top out in the mid to upper 30s. Some areas across the eastern shore grazing that 40-degree mark through the afternoon. But we're going to continue the below average temperatures into the weekend. A disturbance is going to pass down our south late Saturday that could bring a snow shower. But yes, an early January thaw could be on the horizon. We'll talk more about that coming up my full forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is providing some shelter for people who are having difficulty with these cold temperatures. Delaware's Department of Health and Social Services operating warming centers across the state, and the department says locations are open today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, people can head to Shipley State Service Center in Seaford, Thurman Adams State Service Center in Georgetown, and the Laurel State Service Center.
As the holiday season comes to an end, so does holiday travel, and we can expect many people on the roads returning home from their holiday destinations. This holiday season, AAA reports record holiday travel from Delaware with about 300,000 people, mostly by car, and that number nearly 2.5 million projected drivers in Maryland. We spoke with someone who traveled about 6 hours up to Ithaca, New York from the Delaware coast for the holidays, and she says this time of year there's an added layer of stress when traveling.
So it's not easy to travel in general, but then at Christmas time it's even more crowded and more difficult. And then there's snow involved, especially when you're going up to Ithaca, so you have to factor that in as well.
This comes as AAA says the national average for a gallon of gas has decreased during this holiday season.
New this morning, this 30 acres of land called the 4th Street Preserve, looking to become a model for other areas. In September, the city of Lewis officially acquired the land after it was at risk of development. According to project leaders, they are planning to have walking trails and a few pedestrian bridges built over ditches, and that the project emphasizes education through nature.
That's all part of this being the first urban community forest in Delaware, is that we can study and come up with ideas of the best techniques to use for other areas for preservation. So hopefully there will be other communities within the state that mimic what we're doing here in Lewis.
And while Ford says the overall project is a 10 to 20 year plan, the educational and recreational experience is now underway.
New overnight, the Georgetown Fire Company battling a car fire on the Circle. As you can see on your screen now, the fire impacting the rear side of that car. The agency says the fire took place shortly after 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day.
Things to know: the Delaware State Fire Marshal urging people to take lithium-ion battery safety seriously. According to the fire marshal, these batteries are dangerous if damaged, overcharged, or exposed to extreme heat. The office says follow directions when using devices powered by these batteries. Charge the devices away from direct sunlight and flammable items, and to be aware of extreme heat, odd smells, or hissing sounds.
Across Delmarva, a fundraising opportunity in honor of Delaware State Trooper Corporal Snook. Tomorrow, the Blue Line Network will host a Back the Blue drive-through event for the Snook family. It's happening from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at William B. Keene Elementary School in Newark. Volunteers will place memorial stickers on cars, and all donations will go directly to Corporal Snook's family. Corporal Snook was shot while working overtime at a William Keene DMV on December 23rd. He's leaving behind a wife and his 1-year-old daughter. And
Delaware State Police have revised the timeline for the celebration of life for fallen Trooper Matthew Ty Snook. His funeral is at the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center, and State Police now say a public visitation runs from 9 a.m. until noon. According to State Police, law enforcement pass and review that begins around 12:45 p.m. That's followed by a memorial service at 1. His burial is private.
Rehoboth Beach's government updating the meeting format starting Monday. Officials say regular meetings will continue on the third Friday of each month. Workshop meetings, normally held on Mondays, are being renamed commissioners' meetings and may include votes if listed on the agenda. The change begins with the January 5th meeting at 9 a.m.
Ocean City's arts community is kicking off the new year with a special First Friday event. It's happening today. The Ocean City Center for the Arts will host the 13th annual Shared Visions exhibit. The organization says it features paintings, photography, and mixed media works inspired by original poems and short prose, which are displayed side by side. The exhibit takes place at OC Art League from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Also in Ocean City, beginning Monday, the town will upgrade water meters. All residential and commercial water meters are getting converted to an automatic meter reading system. Town officials say the electronic reading should improve accuracy. Completion is to be expected by April of 2026.
Families in Wrightwood, California rang in the new year with more rain bringing severe damage to a community already recovering from 2 previous winter storms. Some neighborhoods were covered in several feet of mud, forcing homeowners to evacuate. San Bernardino County officials say crews are working around the clock to clear the roads and redirect the flow of the runoff.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. The new year starting with continued foreign policy changes for President Trump and new laws taking effect across the country. And this just in, opponents of President Trump are claiming they are concerned about his health and some recent medical tests. The president spoke with the Wall Street Journal about the topic, and NBC's Bianca Fascini showing us how the White House is trying to calm concerns about his advancing age and fitness for office.
As questions and speculation grow, President Trump has consistently insisted his health has never been better.
I think I'm sharper than I was 25 years ago, but who the hell knows?
Now, in a new interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president is trying to quell those questions, explaining an MRI he had in October was actually a CAT scan. And as for those pictures of makeup covering bruises on his hands that went viral, the president blames taking high doses of aspirin daily to thin his blood for causing it, which initially started the rumors about his health. The president telling the Journal he's ignoring doctors' advice to lower the dose. Trump, who is 79 years old, will become the oldest president ever in office by the end of his term. But age, which he attacked former President Joe Biden on during the 2024 race, is just one of several challenges he'll face this year. There's the potential growing threat from Iran, where protesters have taken to the streets, sparked by an economic downturn in the country. The president, standing alongside Israel's prime minister earlier this week, endorsed a potential Israeli strike against Iran if the country tried to restart its missile program. In a social media post, Iran's president said any attack will be met with a, quote, harsh and regrettable response. As the new year begins, the domestic policy landscape is changing too, with new laws taking effect across the country. Many of them touch on issues that were a big part of the president's 2024 campaign. In North Carolina, a new law bans using state funds for gender transition surgery and permits lawsuits against medical providers. And in Texas, diversity and inclusion programs will be banned in public schools. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
And we have a heads up for drivers in the Fenwick Island area. DelDOT says they will have intermittent lane closures on Lighthouse Road until spring of 2026. This is for a long-awaited bridge replacement, and that work is expected to begin Monday, January 5th.
We're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, time for fitness goals, what local gyms are saying about membership as the new year begins.
Also, new police dogs possible. We'll tell you why the Laurel Police Chief says at least 2 new additions are needed.
Still ahead, box office bonus, how some companies are hoping to keep an increase in movie ticket sales going after some strong results in 2025. And there is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the Weather Center. We've got a cold day going, typical for January, and we check in with Chris next.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. We're putting a little bow on the month of December, recapping the month as a whole, and it was a cold month, 22 days below average. We ended up 5.5 degrees below average for the month. And as far as the precipitation goes, we ended the month over an inch shy of where we should be. And we had a little light snow there just before Christmas. And looking ahead to January, slightly below normal temperatures through much of Delmarva and the mid-Atlantic. And as far as precipitation goes, around normal chances for precipitation. We will talk about a slightly milder trend of weather into next week. Your full 7-day forecast in minutes.
In Maryland, it is the final day state parks are offering first day hikes for 2026. Overall, hikers can choose from 3 options. Ranger-led hikes, which have set start times, they do require some pre-registration. Self-guided hikes are available on marked trails, and new this year, hikers can use the All Trails app, and this is to navigate selected routes. You can also share your experiences.
Movie theaters across the U.S. and Canada saw small but significant growth in 2025. A new ComScore data report says that ticket sales rose 2% this year, and that added up to nearly $9 billion in sales. A number of franchises are hoping to keep ticket sales up by, get this, offering membership deals to those who see the movies at the theater at least 6 times a year.
Kentucky bourbon maker Jim Beam pausing production at its main distillery in Clermont, and part of the issue concerns supply. Kentucky has more than 16 million aging barrels of bourbon in its warehouses, and the state charges taxes on those barrels. The state trade group says distillers paid $75 million for the aging barrels in 2025, and that is a 27% jump from a year ago.
Well, we begin our Friday with a little clouds to start, but other than that, a nice afternoon. We'll get up into the upper 30s near 40. We keep the cold temperatures in play through the weekend, but there are some milder temperatures in the forecast. I'll bring those to you right after the break.
Time is 6:17, and you are looking live at the early morning scene at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. And Chris, overall, for early January, we're just a typical stretch of weather that we're in.
Yeah, we're going to continue to see below average temperatures, in fact, over the next few days, and then slightly milder into next week. You'll see that here shortly as we take a live look in through Cambridge. 28 degrees. We had little flurries there this morning. We're at 25, Harrington 26, Georgetown 28, Bethany Beach, and 27 in Rehoboth. Winds relatively calm this morning, so that is good news. And unlike mornings of past this week when we had wind chills in the teens, not seeing that this morning, so there's some good news there. We had snow showers pass us to the north and through South Jersey. Most of those have missed Delmarva, but we've seen a few spotty flurries here and there, not amounting to much across the area this morning. Pretty dry back off to the west. west. Series of low pressure systems to our south will stay to our south as high pressure continues to move in. We may see a brief snow shower late Saturday night, but for the most part, we're going to be staying dry here over the next 5 days. Clouds to start, sunshine to finish, highs in the mid to upper 30s, 39 Federalsburg, 39 Vienna. We'll see a high of 39 in Salisbury this afternoon. So there's the clouds this morning, clearing skies through the afternoon and into the evening. A cold night will dip back into the low to mid 20s ahead of more clouds that are going to be rolling in for Saturday. That's ahead of that storm system to our south. We'll see some clouds to the north, high pressure in control. So we have a lot of dry air in play here. So that's going to suppress most of that moisture to the south. We're at 36 on Saturday, sunshine for Sunday, a beautiful day, 39 northwest winds anywhere between about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So there's that rain. You can see it down through Virginia and the Carolinas. We may get grazed by some light snow, snow shower Sunday, early Sunday morning, but for the most part, I think most of that is going to stay offshore. We stay dry into early next week, and then we'll have rain chances by late next week. So a dry but slightly milder stretch of weather develops as we go into the 7th through the 11th of the month. We're at 38 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. We're dry, cold overnight, 22, 36 for our Saturday with cloudy skies, sunshine for Sunday. We stay dry into Monday, and then there's that warming trend, 50 by Tuesday, 56 into Wednesday under mostly cloudy skies. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. A Sussex County Police Department wants to put more paws on its patrol. We have Laurel's veteran K9 Grimm. The town's chief of police says Grimm is nearing the end of his service and the department is in need of a new generation of dog ready to work. The plan is to add 2 new K9 partners to help when times matter most, and according to the police department, the possible new additions would greatly improve operations.
By expanding to 2 canines, we can provide roughly twice the amount of coverage and cover all the shifts, which significantly improves our ability to go ahead and respond to violent incidents, runaway children, tracking fleeing suspects, locating weapons and drugs.
And the department says it has raised about $27,000 with the roughly $80,000 needed to buy, train, and care for the dogs.
Up next on CoastTV News Today, time for fitness goals. How long local gyms say membership is expected to increase after the new year. CoastTV News Today will be right back. The new year is a time when many people get started on new fitness goals, and local gyms like Pure Fitness and Live Fit in Salisbury, well, they say they tend to see an uptick in memberships this time of year. Longtime gym members are also finding ways to better themselves or others as the new year takes off.
New year, the gym's always packed, right? There's always those fresh faces, those young guys, those old guys that come back in, and you know they're nervous, right? They haven't been in here in a while. They make those resolutions. And kind of seeing a consistent face on the grind, in the struggle, kind of in the trenches with them, I can make an impact on them without even knowing them.
And the gym membership increase is expected to last through January, possibly even February.
This Friday morning is treating you well. Delmarva seen some cold temperatures out there this morning, 27 in Lewis. Now, we had a few flurries across the area. We'll start with some clouds, but partly cloudy skies by the afternoon. A really nice day in Ocean City, Fenwick Island. The good news is we're not going to be dealing with strong winds like we've been dealing with, it seems like, every day. 33 by around noon in Lewis. Will top out mid to upper 30s there. Cambridge starting off with some clouds, ending with sunshine through the afternoon through Crisfield. Highs in the upper 30s. Congratulations to Joseph Mazinski, Seaford, Delaware. You just won an umbrella from Coast TV, and you could always give our Coast TV First Alert weather phone by Broxton, Mandalos, Federico. We'll talk about a cold weekend ahead in our next half hour.
The weekend is here. It's the first one of 2026.
And it's an exciting one, Matt. There's a lot of happenings and some cool things to do across Delmarva, and here's a look at some of those activities.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good laugh tonight, you can go to the Milton Theater. They are holding a stand-up comedy show that's at 7:30.
I know a lot of people who would like this one. On Saturday, Delmarva Birding Weekends, hosting a cruise exploring the Delaware Bay. See, Matt, I would like to take my grandfather to this. This sounds fun. Organizers say the trip offers a chance to see a wide variety of seabirds and waterfowl.
Yeah, that does sound fun. And on Sunday, Friday, the band Good Stuff performs a tribute show featuring the music of Steely Dan. I think that would be some yacht rock music, Grace.
Your favorite.
I know. You can also have songs by Sting and Stevie Wonder along with Gino Vanelli. The performance takes place at 7:30 at the Milton Theater.
Now on Coast TV News.
Cold weather care, how people in Sussex County dealing with freezing temperatures can find some protection from the elements.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Tracking a few flurries out there as temperatures are in the 20s. Tracking a pleasant, cold, dry day. And we're going to continue that cold pattern into the weekend, but there is a warm up in sight.
Plus, holiday getaway endings. Why a busy day on our roads is about to begin today.
Lewis land saved.
So hopefully there will be other communities within the state that mimic what we're doing here in Lewis.
How the city hopes its plans for the 4th Street Preserve become an example elsewhere.
This is Coast TV News Today.
January 2nd, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us on this Friday morning.
Friday morning, 6:29 a.m. and after New Year's Eve. Maybe some activities New Year's Day.
Yes.
A low-key weekend.
Oh, that's an interesting take. That's not something that I thought I would hear from Party Boy Pensick over here. You're like the life of Delmarva.
Well, I like to think so.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think it's a big time for everyone. Had a lot of time with family, friends, especially this entire holiday season. Yeah. Today, World Introvert Day. Maybe you're right. A lot of people want to take it slow as they're preparing to get back to work.
Get back to work, get back to school, and if you are doing anything today, it is a cold one. Let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Masterbono, who has more details on some below freezing temperatures as we start this Friday morning. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yeah, those are good plans. Maybe stay in, watch a movie, watch some football, some hockey. Doing a pretty good job this weekend because the temperatures are actually going to be trending even colder through the weekend as we stay in the 30s. 27 right now in Lewis. We have a few snow showers to our north. We've had a few flurries this morning in and across the Delmarva Peninsula. Not dealing with any strong snow squalls like we saw yesterday morning, but we have high pressure building into the area. We're at 26 in Millsboro, 27 Salisbury, 26 in Bridgeville, and we're at 27 in Rehoboth Beach. Winds have been calm this morning, so that is good news. Not seeing any wind chills in the teens across the area. Now we're going to have highs today in the mid to upper 30s. We start the day with some clouds, but end with sunshine, and then we'll have clear skies into the evening. Another cold night ahead as we'll eventually fall into the lower to mid 20s. So we start with the clouds, end with sunshine today, and we're going to trend cold into the weekend. We stay below average. Highs are going to be generally in the mid to upper 30s. More clouds Saturday than on Sunday. Sunday definitely the pick of the weekend as a system passes to our south late Saturday. That could bring a brief snow shower to the area. We'll talk more about that and those mild temperatures in the next week coming up here a bit later on.
Thank you, Chris. Now it's our top story this half hour. That brutal cold. Delaware's Department of Health and Social Services are operating warming centers across the state. The HC says that locations will be open today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, people can head to the Shipley State Service Center in Seaford, Thurman Adams State Service Center in Georgetown, and the Laurel State Service Center.
As the holiday season comes to an end, so does holiday travel, and we can expect many people on the road returning home from holiday destinations. The season AAA reports record travel from Delaware with about 356,000 people over the holidays, and mostly by car. That number, nearly 2.5 million projected in Maryland, and this comes as AAA says the national average for a gallon of gas decreased during the holiday season.
New overnight, the Georgetown Fire Company battled a car fire on the Circle. You can see this on your screen now, the fire impacting the rear of the car. The agency says that the fire took place shortly after 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day.
Across Delmarva, a fundraising opportunity in honor of Delaware State Trooper Corporal Matthew Snook. Tomorrow, the Blue Line Network is hosting a Back the Blue drive-through event for the Snook family. It's happening from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's at the William B. Keene Elementary School in Newark. Volunteers will place memorial stickers on cars, and all donations will go directly to Corporal Snook's family. Corporal Snook was shot while working overtime at a Wilmington DMV on December 23rd, and he leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old daughter.
Delaware State Police have revised the timeline for the celebration of life of fallen trooper Snook. His funeral is at the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center. State Police now say a public visitation will run from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. And according to State Police, law enforcement pass and review will begin around 12:45, followed by a memorial service at 1. Snook's burial will be private. New this morning, this 30 acres of land called 4th Street Preserve, many consider it to be a rare gem in the heart of Lewis.
And in September, the city officially acquired the land. As Coast TV's Emma Aiken shows us, there's a lot in store for the forest's future.
A field of green in the middle of hundreds of houses. But the 4th Street Preserve was once at risk of development.
That's all part of this being the first urban community forest in Delaware, is that we can study and come up with ideas of the best techniques to use for other areas for preservation. So hopefully there will be other communities within the state that mimic what we're doing here in Lewis.
That's Jim Ford, and he's one of the people at the head of this project. For starters, Ford says we'll have trails to walk on here in the forest. Ford says on this 23-acre parcel of land, wheelchair-accessible walking trails will be built coming off of 4th Street. And on the 7-acre parcel of land, those walking trails, well, he hopes those are complete by next fall.
And that's the idea all along, is the minimal amount of impact that we can have here, the better.
Ford says a few pedestrian bridges will be built over ditches. And it's not just walking trails, it's also about education through nature.
We're going to do about 3 15-foot diameter circles of compressed plants in these areas, and they'll be the habitat islands.
Jacqueline Ferris, who lives right near the preserve, was out doing this.
I had some extra pine cones. I figured the squirrels could eat them, so I brought them and put them back under the pine trees and hopefully have something to eat. It's an really, really special place. It's one of the only places left that's wild anymore. Everything else has pretty much been developed. So it sort of has a special place in my heart when I drive by and I see the deer that are over here eating, or somebody's walking their dog.
To keep the magic alive, Ford says the goal is to raise another $825,000 above what the purchase price was, and right now they're at about $400,000 of that. While Ford says the overall project is a 10 to 20-year longevity plan, the educational and the recreational experience starts now. In Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Happening today, several developments getting reviewed in Greenwood. According to the agenda for the Planning Commission meeting, they will look at a sketch plan for a proposed development called Briarstone. A sketch plan review is also taking place for another development called Village at Hop Toad. The commission's meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m.
Ocean City's community kicking off the new year with a special First Friday event happening today. The Ocean City Center for the Arts will host the 13th annual Shared Visions exhibit. The organization says it features paintings, photography, and mixed media works inspired by original poems and short prose, which will be displayed side by side. The exhibit takes place at OC Art League from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Postal Service has a warning. Your mail might not get postmarked the same day you drop it off. Here's what we're talking about. A new rule clarifies that a postmark doesn't necessarily reflect the date the Postal Service accepted possession of it. Postmarks are applied at regional mail processing hubs, but a Postal Service overhaul has eliminated multiple daily trips between post offices and those hubs. Officials say customers can still bring their mail to the post office and ask for a manual postmark if they need a day-of-date stamp.
We are now taking a look at Washington, D.C. this morning as the sun is yet to come up this Friday. Concerns are growing over President Trump's health and recent medical tests. New overnight, President Trump has consistently insisted that his health has never been better. And in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president explaining an MRI he had in October was actually a CT scan. And as for those photos circulating of makeup covering bruises on his hands, the president blames taking high doses of aspirin daily to thin his blood for causing it. Trump, who is 79 years old, will become the oldest president ever in office by the end of his term.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up next, details in deadly resort fire. We'll tell you what witnesses say about the tragedy that took place during a holiday celebration.
Also, thriller in the sugar. New Year's Day's night capper between Mississippi and Georgia ended up being the best game so far of the 2025 playoff.
And babies to bring in the new year. We'll show you the first babies of 2026 for some hospitals across Delmarva. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva, and a happy new year to you. Sunrise at 7:19 this morning as we take a live look into Laurel. 27 degrees. We had a few flurries pushing over the peninsula this morning. Most of the activity is now pushing offshore. We're at 26 in Georgetown, 29 in Ocean City. Not much in the way of a wind chill this morning. Winds have been relatively calm throughout the morning. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. A really nice afternoon after some morning clouds. Highs in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. Keep your eyes to the skies. Tonight we have the first supermoon of the year, first full moon of the year, and that peaks tomorrow morning at 5:03. It is the wolf moon. Yes, we will see that tonight through early tomorrow morning, and tonight will be the best chance because we have clouds rolling in Saturday. We'll talk more about your weekend plans and your weekend forecast next.
Chris, you know we love our supermoons. And New Year, new babies. Hospitals across Delmarva are celebrating births on New Year's Day. At Tidal Health Hospital in Salisbury, the first baby of 2026, Spencer Morgan Stanley. He was born at 2:19 a.m. to first-time parents Megan and Ethan Stanley. Congrats to the Stanley family. And later that morning at Tidal Health in Seaford, the first baby of the new year, born there at 8:40 a.m. Her name is Kylan Amari Cannon. And right there you can see her happy mom, Zanaya Cannon. Congrats to those families.
Love those pictures. All right, in sports, college football playoffs, quarterfinal round in the Sugar Bowl. Mississippi's Lucas Canario bangs home this 47-yard field goal with just 6 seconds left. This breaks a 34-34 tie against Georgia. The Rebels heading to the semifinals after a 39-34 comeback win. In the Rose Bowl, Indiana becomes the only team in the 2 years of this current playoff system to have a bye and then win in the quarterfinal round. Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza threw 3 touchdown passes in a 38-3 Hoosier rout of Alabama to punch their ticket to the semis in the Peach Bowl. And then they started with a dominating performance by Oregon. The Ducks shut out Texas Tech 23-0 to round out that semifinal matchup in the Peach Bowl against Indiana. The Capitals begin the new year with a loss at Ottawa. It was tied late in the third when the Senators' Thomas Chabot feeds Fabian Zutterland. This quick one-timer's the game winner. Caps go down 4-3. That is 8 losses in their last 11 games. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 8:30, we got a recap of some of the action from this year's Governor's Challenge. Roman Catholic takes on Wasatch Academy, and then you can catch the final score at 10:30.
And it's week 18 of the NFL season. Here's what's coming up on Sunday Night Football right here on Coast TV. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. when the Baltimore Ravens take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then stay tuned for Coast TV News right after the game. In your entertainment news now from Tinseltown, Rick Damangella with our Hollywood Minute.
Marvel's Avengers Doomsday trailers are racking up the views. The dual Doomsday previews feature the return of 2 of the original Avengers, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers and Chris Hemsworth as Thor. The Rogers trailer has pulled in more than 15 million views since its release, with the Thor trailer surpassing 11 million views in its first few days on YouTube. J-Lo's Vegas residency. The pop legend debuted her Jennifer Lopez Up All Night Live in Las Vegas residency New Year's Eve at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. The residency runs through March 28th. And if you unwrapped a Nintendo Switch or Switch 2 console this holiday season, a new game for it is out now. Mouse, Mechanized Assault Unit 19, puts players in a retro-style sci-fi platforming adventure. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damangella.
Rough week? Cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news first of the year from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up. to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Fridays.
Well, now the holidays are behind us. We look ahead. Martin Luther King Day, 17 days away. President's Day, 45. No kidding, I saw Easter candy in a Wawa in Jersey yesterday. I could not believe it. 93 days away. We'll talk about the cold weekend ahead after the break.
The time is now 6:47 a.m. Taking a live look out into Lewis. The sun is yet to come up. Chris, and I'm still stuck on what we were talking about before the break. Easter candy in a Wawa. Oh my God, it's almost 100 days away. What do you mean?
Oh, it was crazy. The lady goes up, they delivered him Christmas.
Oh God, it doesn't even feel like Easter outside yet. It's too cold for that.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
Cadbury
gosh,
eggs
Chris.
up in there, the Reese eggs, everything. Take a live look into Lewis here. We have cloudy skies, 27 degrees. We had a few flurries pass just a short time ago. 25 Harrington, 26 in Georgetown. Now the good news is we're not seeing those wind chills in the teens because the winds are relatively calm this morning. A few snow showers passing across Philadelphia, South Jersey. Most of the steadier snow showers have passed us to our north, so we'll continue to see a flurry or two here for the next hour. Watching an area of low pressure developing across the Arkansas, Texas area that will pass to our south over the weekend, but we'll graze the area with, I think, a late shower on Saturday. Other than that, we stay pretty dry into the start of next week. Temperatures this afternoon, 37 in Georgetown, 39 in Cambridge, high of 40 Princess, and 37 in Berlin. So we shed the clouds this morning, mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. It's going to be a clear, cold night as we dip in back into the lower to mid 20s. And then clouds will increase through the day tomorrow. So we're looking at a cloudy, a gloomy Saturday, weak high pressure over the area. And then that area of low pressure we've been tracking will stay primarily to our south, but we're going to be dealing with a lot of clouds Saturday into Sunday, though. Definitely the pick of the weekend, mostly sunny skies. So there's that system to our south. Could graze the area with a rain or snow shower, not expecting it to amount to anything. And then we stay pretty dry into the start of next week, but a warming trend. Yes, we're going to see some milder air move in, and then we'll have a more significant storm system push in late Thursday through Friday. Above normal temperatures, a little early winter thaw across the area, January 7th through the 11th. 38 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies, a pleasant day. We're at 22 overnight under partly cloudy skies. Cloudy day on Saturday, late snow shower, even a rain shower possible late Saturday into early Sunday morning. 39 by the afternoon, a really nice end of the weekend. And we stay dry Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then there's that milder temperature, 56 by Wednesday. Could see a late shower Thursday into Friday, but a better chance of rain comes late in the week.
Thank you, Chris. Developing news now. A fire breaking out New Year's Day at a high-end ski resort in the town of Crans, Montana, Switzerland. Officials say about 40 people are dead. Roughly 115 are injured.
And the fire happened during a holiday celebration. Amy Kiley has more information on this developing situation.
It is a tragedy.
A Swiss ski community is in mourning after officials say dozens of people died and more than 100 were injured in a fire. Authorities say it broke out in a bar at a luxury ski resort during a New Year's celebration.
The majority, I imagine, of the people touched by this drama, they are the young people who came for the holidays.
Some victims appear to be foreign nationals. Officials say identifying everyone could take days. They say they're not sure how the tragedy unfolded. It's unclear if the bar was at capacity or if the width of a staircase was a factor. Some witnesses blame a holiday tradition at the bar.
A barmaid would get on a barmaid shoulders and hold a champagne bottle with these sparklers, and witnesses have described how the ceiling catches fire and then suddenly that fire really rips through this underground space.
A burn expert from Johns Hopkins says such fires can cause rapid asphyxiation.
Those who do survive can have massive injuries that can threaten life in the hours to follow, but also can result in threat to life for the days and then disfigurement and disability for those who do survive in the future.
Numerous medical facilities are caring for the injured. A witness says others also rushed to help.
All the nearby residences, restaurants, everyone who was still awake helped either with water, tea, blankets. You know, it was a big shock.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The time is now 6:52 a.m. Time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And as we do on Fridays, we feature those from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. In this hour, on your screen, we have Winifred. Winifred is a very spirited lady and loves adventures, also loves cuddles. She's a huge fan of snacks and peanut butter.
So are you.
This is right. I feel like we're kindred spirits here. If you would like to adopt Winifred or Casper, who we had last hour, head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
And we want to see photos of your pets, or if you adopt Winifred or Casper, send us pictures, tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen now.
That's where the QR code is. Scan it, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
And the time is now 6:55 a.m. It's time for things that you need to know before you go. Delaware's Department of Health and Social Services operating warming centers across the state. Locations will be open today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, people can head to Shipley State Service Center in Seaford, Thurman Adams State Service Center in Georgetown, and the Laurel State Service Center.
As the holiday season comes to an end, so does holiday travel, and we are expecting many people on the road today returning from their destinations. This holiday season, AAA reporting record holiday travel from Delaware with about 356,000 people, and that's mostly by car. And that number is nearly 2.5 million projected drivers in Maryland. This comes as AAA says the national average for a gallon of gas decreased during the holiday season.
Delaware State Police have revised the timeline for the celebration of life of fallen trooper Matthew Ty Snook. His funeral at the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center. State Police now saying a public visitation will run from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. According to State Police Law Enforcement Pass and Review, will begin around 12:45 p.m. followed by memorial service at 1. Snook's burial will be private.
Georgetown Fire Company battled a car fire on the circle. As you can see on your screen, the fire is impacting the rear of the car. The fire company says the fire took place shortly after 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day. And we have one final check on Friday's forecast with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono.
Thanks a lot, Matt and Grace. We're going to deal with some clouds to start this morning, but we're looking at a really nice afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures getting into the mid to upper 30s, not as windy. We'll have more clouds, though, Saturday, so a gloomy day, 36. Could see a late rain or snow shower, especially southern half of the peninsula. Mostly sunny by Sunday, looking very nice, 39. And then we begin a milder trend of weather, a little thaw here as we go into the first full week of January, 56 by Wednesday.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11 a.m.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Friday morning, everybody.